Hi, and welcome along to the All Guns Blazing podcast with my man DT. How are you doing? How is your heart rate as it cooled down after the other night? Made it through, and now even we know our fate.
Yes,
in the next round. And wow, you know, before we get to our fate, let's talk about the other night.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Robbie. It's put a different, light onto this podcast because I already know the questions that would have been getting thrown at me from you. So I'm like, whoo, mate. I think the best way of describing that performance was Arsenal-like. You know, every team has certain performances that resemble them as a club. Spurs are known as Spursy because they bottle things. You know, we just have the most heart-racing, heart-wrenching, roller coaster, like absolute, just insane. I just can't work out what on earth happened, you know, in that game. And, you know, at 2-1, when that moment happened with Ceballos, I felt like my whole world come crashing down. And the funniest thing, I watched the reaction on AFTV, your reactions. I like to see the goal reactions whilst I'm not there and stuff like that. And when that bit happened, like, people that don't know you, like, when they hear you swear, people are quite taken aback. They're like, Robbie swore. Like, it's like water off a duck's back to me. I've heard you swear and stuff, like, but when I watched that and you're just like, I was like, whoa. Because normally you kind of control yourself and maybe the odd word comes out, but then you're like, all right, stop it, Robbie. Just remember what you're doing in your life. But that, it was like, nah, fuck this.
I was fuming, man.
I was
fuming. I watched it back as well. I was like, bloody hell, I was swearing a lot. I mean,
yeah.
Because I was just, do you know what it was, right? I could not believe how we were just pressed in the self-destruct.
Yeah.
Literally over both legs.
Mm-hmm.
Not just that game, over both legs. We tried our hardest to just say to Benfica, here, mate, go through to the next round. Have this one on us. When I look at it, I'm like, the first leg wasn't really much going on in the game, but we're the team missing the chances. We're the team. They were supposed to be the home team. We were the home team, literally. We were the team doing all the attacking, missed loads of easy chances. Then Smith Rowe hands them a penalty. Literally. Right? Then now, in the second game, we go a goal up. And we're all thinking, okay. And then right on half-time, Ceballos, the guy's not really going anywhere. Even if he gets past him, Luiz is there. There's few guys there to stop him. He hangs a leg out and brings him down. And not only does he bring him down, it's where he brings him down. For any free kick specialist, that's the perfect. Though, you know, a lot of times they say, oh, you know, it's too close. You're not going to be able to, you can't get enough to whip it up and it comes down in time and all that, right? Mm-hmm. But there it was perfect. And I was looking at it, I'm like, inside of me, I go, they're going to score from this. And then I was thinking to myself, I know these Portuguese teams, man, they've always got technicians and Brazilian players, and this is scoreable. And then he hits in a worldie. And then the Ceballos one now, that was it for me. I was like, we're out. I thought, I'll be honest with you, I thought when that goal went in, I thought that was it. I thought season's over.
Yeah, I did.
That's why you saw me reacting in the way that I did, because I was just so angry, so upset, because they hadn't even had to work for it. And I'm like, Ceballos is just, we're out. That's it. We're gone. We're dead.
Yeah.
And full credit, there's some guys in that team, right, that we've known about them for a long time, that they're big-time players. Saka, Kieran Tierney, and Aubameyang. Those three guys are big time players. Those three guys will not hide.
No.
We know that. We know in watching it, those three guys, even if they're having a bad game, they ain't hiding. And if they can make something, and it was those three guys that won us, that got us through, that literally said, no, we refuse to go out like this.
Yeah. You know what it was, Robbie? When they went 2-1 up, one of my biggest things that was going through my mind was that they're sitting so deep anyway when we're trying to break them down, and we're struggling to break them down. How on earth do we expect to break them down twice in 20 minutes when we struggled for a game and a half?
Yeah.
You know, they're now not going to play a high line because they don't need to. They don't need to push forward. They can sit deep now. They can invite pressure. And we've got to try and find the pockets of spaces. We've not done that in a game and a half. How? And then literally, this is the maddest thing as well. And I know I'm not the only Arsenal fan that was thinking this, but we hadn't even digested them going 2-1 ahead, and we saw Willian coming on. I was sitting there at home in front of my thing. Now, this is the funniest thing. I got my kids next to me, right? My 5-year-old, little Jensen, everyone knows him. He comes to all the games. He's mad. I'm looking at him and saying, it's like I've got an adult next to me. And I'm like, what's he doing? Why is he putting Willian on? What is he doing? And my boys was looking at me like, I don't know, Dad. Like, I don't know. And I'm like, I'm just, I don't know what to say. Normally, when I'm in the watch-alongs, I've got you. Because it's as though you can affect what's going on there. How many times has there been a VAR decision and I'm turning around and going, Robbie, look. He's touched his hand or he's done this. And you'll look at me like, what am I meant to do? What do you want me to do? Ring him up at Stockley Park and say, yo, do me a favour, I'll give that. Do you know what I mean? But it's like the emotions of everything. My emotions were everywhere, man.
When he brought Willian on, right, I'm like, no, you know what? He actually wants to get sacked. Seriously, I'm like, and then I've been like, what is it? For a lot of games, right? I've been saying, every time Willian comes on, right? I've been saying things like, well, you know what? Maybe today's going to be the day. So like Pippa goes to me, yeah, I bet you're going to say that maybe today's going to be the day that Willian. And I said, no, I'm not even saying that today. I'm not saying that. I go, I'm thinking to myself, Arteta wants out. What's he doing? What's he doing bringing Willian on? But actually, to be fair to Willian, you know, he brought a little bit of energy up on that left-hand side.
Hey, and you know the funniest thing? Willian's got more assists this season than Ziyech.
Yeah, you Chelsea fans. What about that then? What?
Yeah. I knew you'd be buzzing about that one.
Hey, thank you for that stat.
Oh, mate.
Hey, listen, I'm going on Twitter today.
That's it. Robbie's like, what are you saying now about Ziyech? Yeah, I told you, man, yeah, that Willian was better.
My God, man.
You know what? It wasn't like Tierney still had a lot to do, all right?
Yeah.
But Willian was very quick and it was incisive, the pass inside, which gave Tierney the opportunity to be able to sort his feet out, to shift it outside. It wasn't slow, which meant when Tierney had the ball, he was stuck and kind of like, where do I go? And that was not the only good thing that Willian did. I felt that he came energy, a real energy.
He was progressive, and you know, I was arguing with a big argument with Mo. I had a big argument with White Yardie as well. They're saying to me, Arteta gets no credit for bringing him on because he shouldn't even be on in this and that. I said, no, listen, I want fans to remove sometimes your dislike of a player. In my eyes, right? And as I said, and I was quite open, and you're quite open, that when he came on, I'm like, no, what Arteta, he wants out. He's lost it. He's crazy. What is he doing? But you've got to give the manager credit when he's made a substitution and it's worked. And that's a brave substitution to make, because he knows, he's not stupid, yeah? He knows that every single fan out there is thinking, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
And if he knows that if he loses the game, one of the first things fans are going to say is, why did you bring on Willian? Why didn't you bring on Martinelli? Why didn't you bring on this one, that one? And he didn't. He had a plan. He thought to himself, I think, and the other thing I said as well, like, there's a lot of people saying, oh, come on, talking about an assist. All he did was just cut the... How many times have we seen? I mean, we see Hector Bellerin do it a lot, where he gets into positions and it's just a lazy, I call it like, it's a bit lazy football, where it's just like, and especially, even probably wouldn't even be classed as lazy football at that time and in that context of the game, because we are desperate for a goal. But how many times have we seen a player in there have no composure and just whip the ball into the box?
Yeah.
And then he's just gobbled up by the defenders. And then, but he didn't. He picked out Tierney.
Yeah.
He looked up. He saw Tierney there. He's like, oh, he's in a good position. And he picked him out. And then obviously Tierney, oh my God, what a goal. I think people underestimate how good that goal was under pressure.
So
brilliant.
So good.
That was put away like a prime Lewandowski, you know what I mean?
Not a left back. But the thing is as well, to allude to what you were just saying there about those comments that were made and Mikel Arteta gets no praise. Well, I'm actually glad that Mikel Arteta was asked the question about why he brought Willian on, and he gave the response. So what I suggest to them that, you know, came on and didn't want to give Mikel Arteta any credit is to go and have a watch of what he said. And the question was, why did you bring Willian on and not Pepe or Martinelli? He said that the game was not suited to Martinelli or Pepe because the ball in behind was not on. He needed a player that was going to be able to receive the ball short and be able to play between the lines and find the pockets. The game was not suited, based on their formation, to play balls in behind. That is predominantly where Martinelli and Pepe thrive. So what's the point in bringing two players on when the game's not going the way that those two will benefit from? So he had to make the call. He made the call, and he would have made that call knowing full well what would have been going on back home.
Yeah, of course.
He would have known. Mikel himself has said only last week, I think it was, that the criticism of Willian is justified. It's right, because he's not done what we want him to do. And he's probably disappointed the management as well that have put so much faith in him. So Mikel would have felt the heat of every Arsenal fan's abuse on his neck.
Big decision.
Sorry, but you can't say that wasn't, you can't give him praise for that.
And there was a lot of fans who were saying that. And I just think to myself, you want, when somebody's a leader, that's one of the things about leadership. Sometimes as a leader, you have to, and look at, I'm not just talking about football, I'm talking about in business, I'm talking about in government, I'm talking about in anything. When you're the leader, you sometimes have to make a decision that is not popular with everybody at the time.
Yeah.
Where at the time, there's a way easier option, but you follow your gut. You follow your gut decision, and you say, you know, no, I'm going to do this. And if it goes wrong, I know I'm going to get flack, but I'm trusting myself on this decision. And he made a big, because it would have been easier, much easier to put. Even me, I was sitting there and I was like, get Pepe on, get Martinelli on, get a load of goal scorers on the pitch.
Yeah.
But obviously, he's thinking differently. He's thinking, it's no point in just having loads of goal scorers on the pitch. I need to, like what you just said, how you just broke it down there. I need to have somebody that's going to help with the creation of a chance.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, ironically, when we scored the third goal, Pepe was ready to come on. Because at that point in the game, when you've got 3-4 minutes to go, that is the point where it's like, right, everything goes out of the window. we need to just load it up. You don't load it up with 20 minutes to go, because you will become open at the back and the tie will be completely gone. You need to still remain disciplined, but be able to create something. So Pepe was about to come on, and then instantly he has to react to that. Right, you're now not coming on, and I'm bringing on, and nobody expected Callum Chambers come on.
No, and it was a good decision as well.
Because there was a moment towards the end where he went go in the corner flag with one of the Benfica guys, and I'm screaming at my telly, stand on your feet, don't give away a foul. And he just stood on his feet and he was calm.
And he won a couple of headers as well. Yeah. And you know, it was the right players to bring on. And you know what, another thing as well, right? This was another talking point as well. And I want to get your thoughts on this one as well. Now, the Ceballos goal, this caused a big argument. I thought you were here, but it weren't you. This time it was Lee Judges and Kelechi kicking off about this. And actually, I was also kicking off. We were all kicking off about this, right? Now, the Lee Judges felt that Leno was also very much at fault at the game because he just kind of came running out. Then when he came running out, he just stopped and let their player go past him. Now, I was in agreement with Kelechi here, where number one, it's very difficult for Leno because the ball, he's expecting Ceballos to head it back the other way. Ceballos backheaders it like he's heading it to him. He all of a sudden then has to panic, run off his line, realizes he's not going to get there. But you know what? He did something, and I don't know, a lot of people ain't really picked up on it. And this is where I think he learned. And you got to learn by mistakes. He didn't bring the man down. He literally said to himself, you know what? If I try and go in here, I'm going to get sent off and they'll get a penalty anyway. So he just sort of went like that. And the player went in and scored. But you know what? That there might have again helped us. Because if he would have been sent off and we were down to 10 men, we would have had no chance of coming back in that game.
No.
And that's why I think he learnt from that time when he got sent off the other day, when he came out and he just stupidly handled that ball.
Do you know what the funny thing? I see a couple of incidents in the watch along, and it was like I was still there. First of all, when one of the goals went in, everything started to shake, and I realised it was Ty stamping his feet, and I was like, that's like me. We all know about me doing the old stamp of the feet and everything.
We were Rocky memes coming back.
Yeah, and the only thing missing is the Michael Jackson kick. That's the only thing missing. And then obviously Judges, I see him having the argument, and then that's how bad enough, and he stormed off, and I was like, yes, the DT name lives on. They're just like, they're doing it for me. It's like, but no, in all seriousness, look, listen. Emotions run high when games are going on at that, and
especially in a game like that.
Look, Lee's a very emotional guy, and I've got all the time in the world for Judges, and I think that he's a very passionate Arsenal fan. But I do feel in this instant he was wrong in what he said. He got it wrong. I feel that Leno's position is not ready to be sprinting out to clear a ball. It's to receive a headed pass back. He's then had to go to try and retrieve the mistake, realized at that point, I'm not going to get it now. What do I do? Wipe him out, red cards, or do I let him go and give the team 25 minutes or so to try and turn this around? You know, hindsight's a wonderful thing. I bet you any money, Jens Lehmann wished he'd let the Barcelona player go through, Samuel Eto'o, in the 2006 Champions League final.
100%. Listen, you take out the guy if there's like 5 minutes left. You take him out. Yeah. But like you said, there's still a lot of the game left. This is why sometimes when people give away dumb red cards and get themselves sent off and there's still ages of the game left, I'm like, yo, are you what? You know what I mean? Even like you'll see players are on a yellow card sometimes and then they lunge in for another tackle and there's ages of the game left. You're like, yo, you know what I mean? Just even if that player runs through and scores, you've got ages to get it back. Yeah, you know, so
that's what I mean. The thing is, when I watched the highlights back, I watched that incident again, and I watched Leno, and even once the player went past him, Leno immediately put his hands up to say, I'm not challenging him. I'm letting him go.
Yeah.
So he's learned in that respect. And he's, look, the mistake is down to Dani Ceballos. He knows that.
He had a nightmare. He had a nightmare. Arteta even said that he was glad that we won the game because it might have affected him. You know what I mean?
You know what? Something like that could, because we spoke about this on the fan cam afterwards, and we said that, I dread to think some of the abuse that he would have got. And sadly, I don't, mean to say this, right, in a certain respect, but with everything that's been going on lately, I think if Ceballos was a black player and he did that, oh my dear God.
Yeah.
We know what would have come.
Yeah.
We know. Yeah. There probably would have still been racist abuse in terms of his, where he's from and stuff like that. But it's just like,
listen, he didn't. It was out of character. Yeah, I was
when he done that, I was like, just F off. I was fuming. I was fuming when he did that. But I'm not going to go and start tweeting the man or go into his inbox on Instagram and telling him to F off back to Spain and get back to Madrid or this and that. Because the one thing about Ceballos, is that he does come across as a guy that's very, very passionate about his football. And he really does.
He plays with his heart on his sleeve, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. And the one thing that you give the guy credit for in a year and a half at Arsenal is that he's took a lot on board about the club, and he's invested, himself within the culture of Arsenal. So, look, let's just, be very thankful that we don't need to speak about that too much.
Yeah,
and we can
like Lee Judges did actually say in his fan cam. You know, what I mean, he owes Saka and Estrella. You know what I mean?
Mate, not just one.
Not just one. Couple of cases of Estrella.
Mate, cases.
Of course.
Just like the song, man. Just like the song.
And Saka, wow, what a player. What a player.
Mate.
I mean, I picked out, I was looking at some of the young players in the Premier. You know what, to be fair, we got some very good young players in the Premier League, but the three that really come to mind this season are three brilliant young players, right? Foden, obviously, Saka, and one that we'll be facing on Sunday, Barnes at Leicester as well.
And a very good season.
He doesn't sometimes get the mentions, maybe because of Leicester, but he's right up there as well. But Saka, wow, under pressure, he's as cool as a cucumber. He's 19.
19, man.
What were you doing when you were 19? Did you have that sort of composure at 19?
At 19, I was on holiday somewhere.
I shouldn't have asked that question. Sorry, I forgot.
I was taking a very nice vacation.
All right, no, well, we changed the subject, but you know what I mean.
Holiday, the weather was great.
All rooms were paid for as well.
All inclusive.
All inclusive. All inclusive. What, did you have a pool as well?
We had a gym.
A gym.
Yeah.
This place sounds all right.
We had like an indoor cage football pitch. We had
this place sounds all right, man. I don't want to go there though. I don't want to go there.
No.
Not my type of holiday. You know what I mean?
Nah.
And I don't really recommend it to anyone. But it was free.
Yeah. It was all inclusive.
All inclusive. But getting back to it though,
the
composure of this kid,
mate. Do you know what the thing is? Yeah. To be able to receive the ball that when he did, to have the composure to size the player up, couple step overs, and then to deliver the ball. That is the most crucial bit, the delivery. The delivery was insane. That was basically screaming out for Aubameyang to score. And I know a lot of people will look at the goal in itself and go, any player could have scored that header. I actually think that only Aubameyang could have scored that goal. And I'll tell you why. And it's not the header, it's the movement. The movement is what created the header. I think that in the box, Aubameyang is the only player we've got with that kind of movement, with a player on him that can pull a yard out to get what he wants. Aubameyang in the box, in terms of his movement and how, because people used to say, oh, he's a tap-in merchant. The reason why he gets tap-ins is because of his movement create those tap-ins.
His movement was insane. Was insane in that game the other night. And the other thing about, I mean, even that the goal that he scored that was disallowed.
That's brilliant.
Again, the movement. I mean, that when he gets that opportunity to play off the shoulder like that, and when we've got players that can find him, like Saka, like Odegaard was finding him as well. All of a sudden, I mean, how many times was he making those runs earlier on in the season and nothing? You know what I mean? Even the other day against Man City, you know what I mean? You know, that's how you get the best out of a player like Aubameyang.
100%. 100%. Look, Robbie, let's take the first leg out of this, where he knows himself he should have scored goals. Every striker has an off day. It happens. But the guy scored 7 goals in his last 3-4 starts, something like that. Hat-trick against Leeds. And then a couple of goals in that game, and then a couple of goals. It was before that as well, wasn't it? The league game before that. Or was it? What game was it before that? 7 goals that he's got in his last 3 since he's returned. Since he's back from, obviously being by his mum's side and whatever. So that's an unbelievable return. And that's the Aubameyang we know. And we said it. Everybody said it. If you want... All right. Is that Aubameyang?
Will.
Aubameyang's coming in.
Aubameyang's coming.
Yeah, he's just made a delivery. He delivered in that game, that's for sure. But at the end of the day, look, we said that if we're going to have any opportunity of trying to win this competition, we need to get him scoring. And take the first leg out of it. He delivered when we needed it, so you can forgive it. But now he's got to go and right a few wrongs, Robbie.
Well, I was going to get to that. This now is the chance for revenge. You know what? I was actually listening to the draw. I was driving in my car and I'm listening to the draw and I'm like, as teams are starting to emerge out, and I'm like, oh, we missed out on that team. We missed out on that team. And then I said to myself, I wouldn't mind Olympiacos, When they got drawn out, I was like, because they got drawn out first, I was like, that wouldn't be bad. Because even though they're a decent team, I mean, I think I was looking at the record against them and we played 10 times. It's like 5 each in wins. They're still ringing a bell, right? Somebody will get it, right? But I was saying to myself, even though that's they're not going to be an easy team to play, this is the chance for revenge. Revenge from last season. The team that put us out last season, this is it now. This is where we can go, like you said, and right some wrongs. And in particular, Aubameyang, who in that game had mixed fortunes because scored a brilliant goal, which we thought, that had got us back in it. Then remember they scored. And then again, Aubameyang right at the end missed that easy chance.
Yeah.
And we went out. And he was absolutely gutted by that. This is his chance.
Redemption.
And this is Mikel Arteta's chance as well to take revenge on Olympiacos.
Yeah, it is.
And it would be fitting. And the other thing I'd say on it, DT, is in a way, again, which might be of a bit of an advantage to us, obviously it will be behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Because of the pandemic. And me and you've been there as well. That ground with fans in it is absolutely electric.
Yeah.
And, they always bring a fair few to the Emirates as well. Because as we know, there's a lot of Greek people who live in North London. And a lot of them are passionate Olympiacos fans. They won't have that behind them, right? And also, we've just played at the ground.
Yeah.
We played there on Thursday. So it's not like we're going to be going to a ground and we're like, oh, this is all new to us. They're even used to playing at the ground. So I think it's a good draw. I really do.
I don't think it's bad. And the Socrates, remember that as well?
Socrates as well. Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, so Socrates. But I watched their game, and it was a very late goal on Thursday that actually got them through. They scraped through by the skin of their teeth again. And I look at the two legs last season. We shouldn't have lost that. We had so many chances to win that game, especially out in Greece. We had so many chances to win that and be well out of sight. And that was with fans in the stadium.
Yeah.
When it was tough. And then, everything went wrong in that.
It's a similar, it's like facing a similar type of team like Benfica, isn't it? Same, a team that's got lots and lots of European pedigree, a team that's used to, playing in the Champions League but never really get far, but a team that is always going to have some good players.
Yeah.
And if you're not on it, can knock you out. But I'm happy with the draw. I'm happy with the draw. When you look at some of the other teams you could have got, Manchester United, drawing AC Milan, that's the team I didn't want. I didn't want to get any of the other English teams as well, like Man United or Tottenham. I think Olympiacos gives us a great chance to progress. It won't be easy. There's unfinished business, but come on.
Yeah.
Nobody, I'm not crying about that draw.
No, I'm not. Ideally, I wouldn't have minded Mulder because we've already played them in the group stages and they weren't a great side. But
that's the crazy thing. That's the crazy thing. Sorry to cut you. That's the crazy thing that both the teams from our group have progressed so far.
Yeah.
Everyone said it was an easy group.
And Mulder have drawn Grenada in the next round. Now, I'll tell you something, they had a brilliant result.
Knocked out Napoli, didn't they?
Yeah. So that was a brilliant result. And they definitely can't be taken lightly. But they're two sides that would have probably looked at it and said, they're the ones that they would have wanted to play. And I don't think Spurs have got an easy trip, They're not. Listen, remember we went out there in the Champions League?
Yeah. I remember the snipers on the roof. Remember that?
Oh, no. That was... you're on about Red Star.
Red Star.
Belgrade. The one where Tottenham are going, that was the one where it was the very match day 1 of the Champions League. And Wenger went and made loads of changes for it. And we were like, what are you doing? And then I went mad at the end because we lost.
Nice city, but and Zagreb. They're a decent
beautiful city. Beautiful
it's
city.
A beautiful thing. It is.
But in the selfish thing, right? I was sitting there earlier when I was doing the draw and everything and whatnot. I was sitting there and I was going, selfishly, I'm not overly bothered about the draw as such at the moment because I can't go. There's certain trips there where I'd go, I want to go there. I want to go there. Like, if we were allowed in stadiums, I would have wanted Rangers.
Yeah.
I would have loved it. To go to Scotland, go to Ibrox. I've been very fortunate enough to be to Ibrox before, way back in the day when we played there. And with fans in the stadium, it would have been electric. So in a selfish way, But whilst there's no fans...
I thought you'd have wanted to go Shakhtar. Ukraine, nice bit of remember the last time we was over there? What was it, -19 or something?
Bruv.
Or Dynamo Kiev. We actually, the last time we went there, that was actually at their stadium, was it? Dynamo Kiev. It was very nice stadium, but bloody cold, man. Jesus.
You know what was lucky about that was that they actually moved the game the day before the actual game. From somewhere miles out that was about -25, had no roof on the stadium.
And remember, I think you're forgetting the reason why the country was under martial law.
That was it, And we were going over there, and everyone was like, "Are you mad? Are you mad?"
But we're plastic fans, DT. We're plastic.
If you remember, there's martial law over there. We got over there, and it was so cold that even though I had all that thermal stuff, I was still cold. I turned around and I went, "I'm going shopping." And you're like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, I'm going.
Yeah, I remember.
And I've just walked off on my own into the middle of the like town centre. There's martial law going on, and there's little old me from England just bowling around, going, "Excuse me, any sports shops need gloves? Gloves?" And they're looking at me like, "Who the hell's this guy?" You know what I mean? So, oh mate, and
I miss those away trips, man. I miss those away trips.
Listen, the best thing about that was that we got a hotel that actually overlooked the stadium, if you remember.
Yeah.
And we've done the interviews, and I remember you literally got a couple of them done, and you were like, "Yeah, done for the night, freezing, bye-bye."
Yeah.
He was like, "Nah, see ya." Nah, sod that, man.
Do you remember as well, like even Olympiacos last year, which was one of the last sort of games that away game. I think that's the last away game with Arsenal probably did.
Yeah,
Might have been.
It was actually. It was,
yeah.
It was at the same time of these rounds now, so it was late February, March time. So
and I remember
we went into lockdown in March.
Yeah, I remember we stayed in some hotel, which weren't too far from the ground. But Olympiacos, as you know, is another one of them very hostile grounds to go to, where they advise that you go in by the allocated buses. You know those. And I don't know. I can't remember you was with me when you was with. Staying...
No, I wasn't with you. I didn't stay in your hotel or anything. It was the one we stayed in where that happened to us was Napoli.
But this one there's another one.
They put us on them buses.
On them buses,
they all had them protective visors over the windows and stuff.
That's right.
To stop rocks getting thrown through. And I was like, oh, mate.
Well, I think Olympiacos is a similar thing where it's the same sort of bus, you know, you got to be bussed in and that. But our hotel wasn't that far away from the ground. So I said to them, like, I ain't going all the way into the city centre to get a bus to then come all the way back. Let's just take a taxi, right? So I remember we took a taxi and the taxi driver was like, he was so fearful for us. Even when he dropped us off, he was going, remember what I said? You go down there, then you turn right, then go straight ahead. Don't stop for nobody. And we're like, yeah, cool. Because I know like that's what I'm saying. It's a very, very hostile ground to go to normally, but those fans are not going to be there. And I remember we got knocked out by Olympiacos. And then I remember watching Wolves play them in the next round, and Wolves beat them easy. And Wolves went to their stadium, and I'm like, yo, it's like playing two different teams because you didn't have their fans there who are absolutely amazing, who like jump up for 90 minutes and got flares going off, and it's absolutely crazy. So I think that's definitely a winnable game. And all of a sudden, the season's not over. The journey continues, and then the journey continues again. Look how things have kind of. It's so fine lines. Look how it's trying to fall. We're playing Leicester at the weekend, who last weekend I would have been like, yo, no chance. Now all of a sudden they've gone out to the same Dynamo Zagreb, right? But they've gone out.
Red Star. They went out to Red Star.
Was it Red Star they went out to?
Was it?
I thought it was Dynamo Zagreb.
No. They never went out to Dynamo Zagreb. They went out to. Oh my! Yeah, it was. What was it? Was it Red Star they went out to?
Let me check. I thought they went out to Dynamo Zagreb.
No, they didn't go out to Dynamo Zagreb.
Oh no, Slavia Prague.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Slavia Prague. But I'm looking on it and I'm thinking, a week ago, I was so fearful of this game. But all of a sudden, Leicester, you know, that was a shock. Them going out to Slavia Prague. The way Leicester have been playing, they got a 0-0 in the first leg. They brought them back home and got beat. And then also Maddison's out. I'm not sure if he'll be back for that game. That's a huge miss for them.
Yeah, he's not.
All of a sudden, maybe come Sunday, you know what I mean, a bit of momentum after that win. You know what I mean, everyone's feeling a little bit better about themselves. Arsenal showed a bit of fight. Tierney's back. Partey's back. You never know. Maybe we could go and get something at Leicester.
Yeah, you never know. Listen, we do still need to have to, you know, try and get back to winning ways in the Premier League because it will breed confidence for the Europa League. Ironically, we're actually playing Tottenham in between the two Europa League games because one of the first things I looked is that if we drew Spurs, we would have Spurs 3 games in a row.
Imagine that.
Mate, no, I don't want to imagine it. Jesus Christ. But so yeah, but then they're in the same boat. They've got to travel away from home, first European game, So they're going to be going away on a Thursday night, just as we are going to be going away on a Thursday, and then we've got to play each other on the weekend. But
and that's the same as this weekend, because we're in the same boat as Leicester, in that Leicester have also had a European game. I mean, we've had to go a lot further for our European game, but we've both had European games, you know, on a Thursday night.
It's the mood. They're going to be feeling a little down in the dumps. They've just lost Maddison as well. We're going to be a little bit buoyed and a bit G'd up. I think team selection's important. I think Mikel does need to rest some players and rotate for this game. It's been a tough, emotionally draining couple of weeks. And I think he said himself that players like Saka are very fatigued at the moment. And the last thing we want is to push Saka a little bit more and we lose him.
I'd like to see Martinelli come in.
I would like to see a few changes for the game. I would like to see, you know, my mindset is that Cedric will start at right back. That's why he didn't play this game against. I'm hoping. I actually think that he'll probably end up changing both the centre backs like he did against Man City. I'd keep Tierney in because he needs to keep getting minutes, and he's only just returned back from a month out. Partey starts for me. Back from fitness. Granit Xhaka will start. He looks absolutely fine in that respect. Although I suppose if you wanted to rest him, you could, because Partey's there, bring in a Mohamed El Neni as the defensive-minded midfielder with a Thomas Partey, because Partey, anyone can play next to him. And then attacking sense, I'll bring Pepe in, Martinelli in, Lacazette in. I'd keep Odegaard in. He looks really fresh. To me, I think Odegaard is really starting to adapt to, you know, life in English.
Yeah, and to be fair, he's not, you know, he wasn't playing a lot at Madrid, so he's be fit as anything.
Yeah, so he's absolutely fine. And Smith Rowe's another one that I think has started to look very leggy, and you know, he covers a lot of ground, does a lot of work. So I just feel that, you know, given the situation, we should make a few changes.
I know he's starting. I know he started.
No, Willian.
You know he's starting Sunday now. He's like,
he just had
see, I told you, lot. Look, in he goes.
Oh, God Almighty, here we go. Yeah, you know.
I want to see Martinelli on Sunday.
Yeah, I would like to.
I want to see Martinelli.
I think the way that Leicester play, it suits Pepe and Martinelli. So.
Well, listen, you got to work hard against Leicester because they've
got to work hard.
You know, but we know that Martinelli will work his socks off. You know, I would have loved to have seen Pepe more on the right hand side, to be honest, because I think he's just looked better there.
Left hand side,
left hand side. So, but that's where Martinelli plays, isn't it? So, unless you play Martinelli as a striker, but then I don't know. You got to go with Lacazette.
Yeah,
Lacazette
he hasn't played a lot.
Yeah, he hasn't played a lot, and get him in and get him to some minutes. I'd rest Aubameyang maybe. I don't know. Do you rest Aubameyang?
I don't. Listen, do you know what?
He's scoring again. You know what I mean? If he's scoring, why are we resting him? And then, you know, when you think about it, next week, the whole week, there's a lot of games going on during the week in the Premier League, but we don't have one.
Yeah, we don't.
Can we beat them, Leicester?
Yeah, we can beat them. Of course we can beat them.
Fancy us?
Well, yeah, because we should go into the game full of confidence. And, you know, you've got to try and play on their frailties, you know, and try and look to expose any chink that they might have from losing that game on Thursday, because that will be a blow to them. They would not have wanted to go out. They were gutted they went out. So
massive blow.
And they played a full team, full strength side. So, and Maddison's missing, which is huge. But they've got players in their team, and one in particular who absolutely adores playing against us in Jamie Vardy. Harvey Barnes, you're going to have to watch out for him. I think the matchup between Thomas Partey and Ndidi promises to be a real big battle, because I rate Ndidi so much. But Thomas Partey, for me, walks into any midfield in the Premier League. I
think the team sheet, like you said, is going to be interesting.
It will be. And, you know, I just think that there will be changes, because we've travelled, you know, 4,000 miles for what is effectively a home game. I know that the players stayed the next day. They even trained out in Greece the next day. They were doing all their, post-match stuff and recovery and everything else. So they'll probably ended up getting back late Friday, something like that. There'll be a light session Saturday. And then there's no time to even, think about Sunday because kickoff's at 12. You're going to be getting up at 7, 8 o'clock, preparing. You've got to be at the stadium by 10:30. So, but that's another subject for another day in terms of the timing. I said it to you. Why did not the moment that the Premier League and Sky and everybody realised that Arsenal were put in a situation they were in with not being able to play at the Emirates and everything else, they not go, look, listen, we need to take stock of this, move the game to a Monday. There's no games in midweek next week for them. Let them go on Monday. And then, you can televise it then, whatever it might be. But have some consideration for the teams. And I remember it was Jurgen Klopp a while ago that was going mad about the lunchtime kickoffs for teams that play in Europe. And he's fully justified with that. Because how can you justify us going 4,000 miles all the way to Greece on a Thursday and then putting us on at 12 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday? Come on, man. Have a bit of consideration. So, there's not an excuse now if we lose.
Well, listen, DT, thanks very much, mate. It's been a pleasure as always. It's as I said, small margins, man. We got a smile on our face today. It was could have been a completely different podcast, but they showed a lot of fight. They showed a lot of heart. You got to give Arsenal that, and fully deserved the win. And that's what good teams, and that's what big teams do. When your backs are against the wall, you find a way to retrieve it, and they did that. So credit to Mikel Arteta, credit to the team. It's Olympiacos in the next round, Leicester this weekend. Come on, you Gunners. But smiles on faces at least till Sunday. Thanks, DT.